Rob, what exactly are you launching today?
Well, it's our absolute pleasure today to welcome people into the old post office in the centre of Bath, and this will be the home in a few years of the new Fashion Museum Bath. But in order to create a new museum, we need to talk to people. We've got to talk to residents, visitors, whoever really, and get their views about what we think we're going to do in this building.
Well, you're already spending serious money on employing architects and designers. So what more can the public add to that?
I think where we are in the process is a really exciting time. So we've done the concept design, we've set the parameters for what we want to achieve here. Before we get into that detail, before we decide exactly how the building is going to work, what we're going to put on show, the stories we're going to tell, we absolutely have to talk to the people we hope are absolutely going to love this place. So it's a perfect time to say, here are some great ideas, or we think they're great ideas. Let's test them with you. And it's a really genuine opportunity for the public to shape the future of what we hope will be one of the world's most iconic museums.
And certainly could be the UK's most iconic fashion museum.
Yes, and it will certainly be the most significant fashion museum in the UK. There are a number of places that do have great fashion collections. So the V&A, as everyone knows, brilliant. Museum of London, which will be opening soon, has a brilliant fashion collection, but this will be one of the only dedicated museums for fashion, which allows us to explore that subject in all its glory.
Well, you've put up a fantastic display of the history of the Fashion Museum, what it's all about, and how it could look. We're not just talking about inside this building, are we? We're talking about an inner courtyard that could become a cafe with lots of greenery, and indeed, looking out the window and seeing St. Michael's, the whole creation of a new public square.
Yeah, I think it's really important when you make a significant investment in a civic building, and this building is owned by the council, it is owned by the people of Bath and North East Somerset, that it is as open as possible and it is as welcoming as possible, and that the impact of this project is not felt just within these walls, but it spreads out onto the streets around it.
Well, you're talking about it being a museum on the high street. I mean, you have a vast collection, something like 100,000 objects, but how will the museum speak to the present and the future?
Well, that's the glory of fashion, I think. It's a subject where it's so multifaceted. You can almost, through the collection that we have, it's so large, it spans such a great time period, you can almost tell any story about the past, the present, or the future using fashion as a cipher. So the clothes we wear today are themselves an evolution of the last few hundred years of fashion and world history. And what we're wearing now will become the foundation of what people are wearing in future years, and we'll be able to tell that story really well.
Well, I look forward to this new public square because it will be less noisy outside. I think we've got a motorbike out there now. Now, look, there are still some people who are put off by the word museum. How accessible and attractive are you going to be to attracting new audiences?
Relevancy is absolutely key, and this is the point about this consultation. We want to get as wide a group as people as possible, so the most residents that we can, bring them through here, but also residents from everywhere. Doesn't matter whether you live in Bath, you live on the edge of Bath, you live in North East Somerset, or even further afield. Your views are so important to what we're trying to achieve here. This museum is about relevancy. We think fashion is one of the world's most relevant subjects. Everybody wears clothes. You know, it's not just going to be high fashion here. It is everything. It's kids wear, men's wear, street wear, everything in between. So we need it to be relevant. It will only work if it's relevant, and we will only get there if we talk to people like we're trying to do at the moment.
Can we talk about the timescale where you are with this new fashion museum at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So we've been working for a couple of years on this project. We've gone through what we call the concept design phase of the project. We're very grateful to the West of England Combined Authority who funded that feasibility phase and have been very supportive of what we've been trying to achieve here. That has got us to the point where we have a concept design. We know roughly where things are going to be in the building, how it might work, how much it might cost, how long it's going to take to build, and the risks or not involved in that. We're at the point now where we go and talk to people about those concept designs and think, okay, how do we turn that into a fully detailed understanding of how this will work as one of the world's best museums?
Well, we're talking money, and obviously Baines are so confident in the success of this enterprise that they've gone off and borrowed £20 million. Where's the rest of the money coming from?
Well, just to be clear, the council are keen on this project because they're keen on this city. This is an investment in Bath. It is an investment in one of the world's great museum collections, and it's something we should be proud of. And it is something that the council feels will work for residents and for visitors to the city. That £20 million isn't all spent yet. We will draw it down as we need it, and we'll make sure that every single penny of public money is well spent on creating something amazing for visitors and people here. So the rest of the money that we need will come from philanthropic sources. That's what we're looking for. We had some success recently with the National Lottery Heritage Fund. They gave us £768,000 to help bring this project to fruition and take us through to a phase where we can apply to them for some more money. And then we're starting a fundraising campaign right now. We're going out to the other grants, trusts and foundations that fund heritage projects around the UK. And those will be the people who we're hoping will support this project.
And you're quite confident you can get the money and pay the bill?
Yeah, not 100% because nothing's 100%.
What
what I would say is I go 99%. This project is an absolute winner. The collection is amazing, the building's amazing, the city is amazing, and we have all the elements here to create something absolutely spectacular. And that confidence, not just me saying it, that confidence was backed up by that endorsement by the National Lottery Heritage Fund and also the money that's been put into this project by the West of England Combined Authority.